So United, look, we can't look too much into this. It's pre-season, but at the same time, well done, Wrexham, because United lost 3-1 to Wrexham on the pre-season tour. John is now from beautiful San Diego. Is the Guardian's Manchester correspondent, Jamie Jackson. Jamie, a very good morning.
Morning, Jamie.
Yeah, good morning to you, gentlemen, or sort of good evening from San Diego.
Jamie, sort of alarm bells. Whoa, 3-1 to Wrexham. I didn't expect that one, but then someone says, yeah, but if you see United's side, it's still a great result for Wrexham, but if you're a Manchester United fan, what do you see from that side that the United put out?
Yeah, I mean, virtually nothing really, Alan, because the only player with any senior experience is Johnny Evans, who's on a short-term contract. He's 35. He's sort of mentoring the young kids. So, I mean, the biggest thing to come out of it is that Paul Mullin, who scored 47 goals for Wrexham, will now miss the start of the season because he's got a punctured lung.
Oh.
Nathan Bishop, the sort of young, the 23-year-old United keeper, clattered into him. And, yeah, I mean, Phil Parkinson, the Wrexham manager afterwards, to use his own word, is fuming with Nathan Bishop. He also said, and I'm quoting here, basically, I haven't seen the keeper yet. He should stay away from us for the time being. This is, Wrexham, because they're so unhappy with the challenge. So you needed oxygen, Paul Mullin. He was 12 minutes in. He had 7 minutes of treatment before he could sort of wander off himself, but he still was taking oxygen, looked very dazed, and
Horrible injury.
So what, has he broke a rib and then punctured his lung?
Yeah, he's punctured his lung, so that usually means a rib's gone as well, doesn't it, Dean?
Horrible. I mean, you can't sleep, you can't breathe, you can't sneeze, you can't laugh. It's just horrible to get over.
So, Jamie, just on, United with this Hoyland.
Yes.
He sounds a really good signing. He's very, very young. Yes. 9 goals Serie A. Plays for his country. Got a hat trick. Do you expect him to start the season, Jamie?
Well, if they sign him, because the problem is it's not the personal terms, it's the fee. United won't go any more than £60 million. And Atalanta, as I understand it, it's at least 20 million more at the moment. Now, he is a great prospect, maybe the best prospect in Europe. But you mentioned it there. He's only had one season in Serie A for Atalanta. He scored 9 goals, which isn't amazing, but it's respectable. He's 20 years old. He's played a few times for his country, so he's unproven in our league. And if you think about that, how United came into this summer wanting Harry Kane, he obviously is proven in our league and worldwide, and would have transformed really United. And Ten Hag's now gone from Kane to looking at this young player who, as we're all saying, is a great prospect. It kind of shows it's not as great as it could have been for Manchester United. So they might not still get this over the line because of the price. And this is the problem United got this summer. They don't have loads of money comparatively. Mason Mount, you mentioned, cost 60 million. Onana, I think, was 50 million. And that's basically all of the budget that they had gone. They started off with about 120. They're going to have to sell players like Maguire. Alanga's gone to Forest, I think, yesterday now, if I've got my days right. But so that's kind of the situation.
So there's no way Harry Kane, if he decides to leave Spurs and it's not Bayern, he could go to Old Trafford.
Well, here we go. Now, this is an interesting one, this. Listen, it's football. Never, ever, ever say never. I think we all agree on that one. So, at the moment, United are ruling that one out. But if you actually think about this, take a step back, right? As I just said, United entered this summer, Ten Hag entered this summer wanting Kane. It was his number one target. He loves him. As I say, it feels he could transform United. So why would United, if there was a chance, a realistic chance, getting Kane, why would they not come back into the market? So who knows in football? I really do mean that. I'm not saying it will happen, but I don't think anyone, including United themselves, can really realistically rule themselves out of it. Because, the summer market goes on to the 1st of September.
Jimmy, I know you're down in San Diego, but are we hearing anything about City? What is going on there? It looks like Kyle Walker may well go to Germany. Are City in the market for a couple, or do you think...
Yeah, well, it's interesting that Guardiola came out so strongly saying we want to keep, I'll fight to keep Kyle Walker, because, he basically lost his place towards the end of the season, got back in, and didn't start the Champions League final. Now, he hasn't said this, but I'm pretty sure what he means by when he says Kyle Walker's got a sort of a quality that's difficult to find, he means his ridiculous pace, because the amount of times, he has rescued City. Not that City are necessarily always being overrun because, they're so good going forward, but that is interesting. Bernardo Silva might leave. Yes. Now Ilkay Gundogan's already gone. Kovacic has come in. I would suggest he's a different kind of midfielder, but they've covered themselves there. But if Bernardo Silva goes, he's going to have a big problem there, Guardiola, because he is one of the main men, kind of behind Kevin De Bruyne, who is the main man still. I mean, he has got Phil Foden, who could maybe step up into that. So there's a little bit of, they want Gavardio coming in centre back. That means someone like Aymeric Laporte might leave. But I wouldn't say it's a big sort of churn at City, but there are a few players. Kevin De Bruyne, I think he's going to be 32 soon, still at the top of his game, but he came off the Champions League final because he'd been carrying an injury. That's bound to start catching up with a little bit more as he gets older. So it's an interesting time for City, but I still obviously put them as favourites to sort of win, the league again, probably.
Jamie, there's a story there in the Telegraph this morning. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know what you make of it. Phil Murphy, the governor of New Jersey, is trying to get Premier League games out there in the US.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. Well, I also reported this story for The Guardian. He basically, he's part of the World Cup, sort of executive that's taking the World Cup to the US in 2026. He's bidding for his stadium, which is the MetLife in Meadowlands in New Jersey, where United played Arsenal, to have the actual final, competing against LA and Miami. And, he points to the NFL sort of taking their product overseas, having actual proper real live games, and how actually it's lopsided, yes, in terms of some teams play, can't remember exactly what it is, but 9 home games, others play 8 because of this. So I think this is something, as I referenced in my story, if you remember 2008, the then chief executive of the Premier League, Scudamore, wanted a 39th game. It got sort of, it got protested against, blah, 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 but it's not going away. And if you think about what the European Super League was and why it was warded off, you can kind of see a scenario whether you want it to happen or not, when in the end it might be inevitable, because kind of money talks, global expansion, you've got all this Saudi Arabia money now kind of changing the landscape. So I think it's definitely one that, is going to run and run.
Nice one. Jamie, have a great time out there. Thank you very much. Jamie Jackson, Manchester correspondent for The Guardian now.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Alan Brazil. Thursday and Friday morning, 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.